Blessings, beloved. This is a resharing of the 2023 reading only edition of Tilikum's Ascension that I had originally posted on my website, still over there at ccstarseeds.me. But I wanted to share it here, give y'all some content, let y'all be able to read through or listen through the entire story without commentary or interruptions, and preparedness for the 2025 edition that I'm in the process of editing. It's all recorded, just editing it now. That will be coming out on January the 6th through the 16th of 2025. I hope you enjoyed the sharing and the diving deeper. Be looking for the premieres coming up. As soon as I get them edited, I'll be putting them up for premiere for you to get notifications. So subscribe. Turn on those notifications, and I'll see you around in the comments. Blessings, beloved.
28. Tilikum, our muse. Tilikum smartly brought me back. "You're trying to remember what to write," he declared. His statement brought me back to the reason why I had come. "Yes, I am. I'm afraid I forgot already. How will I remember all that was said and done?" "You won't, but you will remember enough. You always do. You should pet me now," he urged. I moved in closer and began stroking the side of his face. His ever-present keeper had taken a stance above and behind his view, giving me room to pet him. She showed me her mind to mine, that he had eaten her numerous times since she began setting with him, which he thought was amusing. I didn't feel quite so bad then about leaving him lonely. He had a tolerant companion in his keeper and had presented a sense of humor to boot. It seemed that he had found the presence of mind to keep himself entertained. The distance I had felt of his life force energy was that it was leaving his sick body to explore what fun and relief he could have in spirit form. Tilikum may not have been the physically robust well of days gone by, but he was mastering the domain of his spiritual matters. He will survive his death. We spoke of lighter issues for the rest of our visit. Tilikum requested I come and revisit him on this night. He then hastily pushed me toward full alertness into my present life. My eyes flew open at 2:12 p.m. I was shocked and surprised at his command of certain powers. He is more influential in controlling his potential as a spiritual being each time I meet with him. With his "you will remember enough, you always do," he had answered more than my question of should I share our meetings. He saw my deep-rooted fear that I would not remember and encouraged me to move on anyway. He may well be on his way to becoming an ascended master, or perhaps he already is one, disguised as a maddened, sickened well to save earthbound souls. Tilikum and I had fewer visits after he had pushed me aside. When we got together, he put on a brave face for me, one he couldn't endure for long. He would send me away shortly after my appearance. Ascension Seeds. I hold close to my heart what is dear to me. 29. Did I know? On January 6, 2017, around 2:30, I heard of Tilikum's death. It was reported that he had died early in the morning. I tried to determine if I had felt or known. I recalled one of my spirit travels that morning, shortly after midnight. Jesus had invited me to the oceanside overlook where we sometimes meet and talk. Why had he beckoned me there? I couldn't remember. Heavenly Father had called me to his throne room in another spiritual communication of the night, probably more likely of the hours before midnight. He sat on his throne, and Archangel Metatron stood behind him on his right side. The angel held out a rolled-up scroll in his left hand, outstretched to me. That vision was an actual replay of an event from several years back. Could the reminder have signified something concerning Tilikum's death? On reflection, I determined that the scroll from Archangel Metatron was not just a vision of the past. It was as though the past event and the now event merged and became one. When I received the scroll in my hand, it absorbed into my matrix, becoming a part of my hand and moving up inside me to my heart, throat, and head. I didn't understand what the words were on that parchment, but I knew it now lived in me. With Tilikum's passing, I found a renewed vigor to tell his tale. I must give what I have received. So much of my internal narrative intertwines with him. Ascension seeds. I seek realities from my unconscious mind and bring balanced truth into my living life. 30. Mourning. That night I went in search of him. It is my experience that souls often linger near their dead bodies before crossing over. Only I wasn't sure about the ancient well soul, and Tilikum in particular. I did find him troubled with what was happening to his body. He wanted to know, and to be honest, so did I. What would they do with his body? We watched the scene for a while. Some people mourned him. Others discussed the business of what should happen next. We had the sense that they planned to cut him open to see inside, and then cut him into pieces. I found out later that after an internal examination into the cause of death, it is customary for SeaWorld to render the wells, distributing organs and parts to colleges for scientific purposes, making our imaginings a possibility. After ministering over Tilikum's remains, I persuaded him to go with me to see the Ocean Cove and return later to his observations. I hoped he would not want to go back to the grief-stricken death scene. We arrived in spirit form above the sea on the cliff overhang. We had only been there for the span of one deep breath when Tilikum had transported himself into the wide open ocean. I tried reaching out to his thoughts as he leaped away from me. Tilikum joined the pod of killer whale souls united in welcoming him. They moved freely with no care for earthly matters. I watched them sail away in the blissful pleasure of each other's company, fading into the darkness of a setting sun. Ascension seeds. I am aware of my body's needs for loving source energy. 31. Tilikum, rest in peace. Almost 1 year after being led into watching the Blackfish documentary, Tilikum succumbed to physical death. In an Orlando, Florida SeaWorld park on January 6, 2017, Tilikum finally found freedom. The news article from Peter read, "RIP, Tilikum dead after 3 decades of misery." OrlandoSentinel.com was more pointed in their headline, "Tilikum, the infamous SeaWorld killer whale, has died." Ascension seeds. I am guided by my spirit in the direction I should go. 32. What killed Tilikum? The public would learn after his death that Tilikum had a persistent and complicated bacterial lung infection that is touted to be his killer. We will probably never know the extent of his real hurts or the truth and scope of his ailments. Ascension seeds. I notice the real hurts in others. 33. Eulogy. Tilikum, your sacrifice challenges humanity in what is known and believed about life on earth and life after death. Your story raises our beliefs about purest form love. You are forever in our heart. Ascension seeds. I am a compassionate person, seeing the struggles of others.